Here is a beginner having his fourth private lesson with a professional instructor. All credit to him for persevering when he is obviously tense and unsteady. All credit to his instructor for his patience and encouragement. What can be done to make the learning process less challenging for the beginner and more rewarding for the instructor? This man is an adult. You can't simply put a pair of skis on his feet and expect him to copy actions the way a child might. Most adults respond best to a step-by-step system of teaching with explanations and the chance to try and master every step in turn. Adults often find themselves outside their comfort zone quite quickly when faced with a challenge like skiing. With this in mind, I have produced a user-friendly series of drills to help develop the necessary skills without fear of falling or losing one's confidence. There's nothing magical about this. All I've done is to break down the component parts of the technique into steps which can be learned one at a time. The first step system, as I call it, is described in detail in my book, which is in its second edition on Amazon. Here I am just showing you demos which relate to the approach I use for a beginner's very first time on skis. There is detailed information about these drills and the purpose of each one on pages 42 to 44 in the book. As you can see, the ski cannot slip sideways when it's in the track, and it's much easier to balance when using the poles as outriggers. The fear of falling goes away and one becomes more relaxed and willing to commit to each drill. Perhaps the most important skill to master is the ability to balance over one ski while it's moving. This takes a while, but the human has had the ability to stand on one leg for a few 100,000 years by now. This might be a good time to let you in on the golden rule. After only a few minutes into the lesson, the student will know that their weight should be over the front foot. This has one very helpful advantage for morale. If your weight is over the leading ski, it is not possible to fall over backwards. Once the golden rule has been announced, any offending student who does fall over backwards has to pay forfeit of 1 coffee after the lesson. I fail to see the logic behind making the learning process harder than it needs to be. The skis drift apart when not in tracks, making it tough to transfer one's weight, and without poles, one's balance is sorely tested at a time when confidence is fragile. If my students are of average fitness and ability, I would expect them to feel prepared to go for a trip on easy terrain after a single 2-hour lesson. I feel for our wobbly friend here. He might consider that having spent £280 on private lessons with a professional, he might get the mistaken idea, that he cannot learn to ski.